Sonny, you talked about intersection safety in your presentation. Explain to me the issues and the solution that you were talking about.
Well, the presentation that I had was about intersection safety in particular, and as it pertains to this thing called dilemma zones. So I took the time to explain what a dilemma zone is and how you could mitigate dilemma zones very well with advanced technology, which we have our hands on nowadays. There are some traditional approaches, and they sort of work, but we can do a much better job with the technology that's available today. And our company, Econolite, which is part of Umovity now, has a lot of these technologies which are really, really good and very helpful in coming up with ways to mitigate things like dilemma zone issues and so forth.
Now, I have been to Econolite's old HQ in Anaheim, just on the southern edge of Los Angeles, and I see it as a signals, a controller company. Explain to me what you're doing. Well, go into a bit more detail about what a dilemma zone is, and explain to me what kit you have that can actually help.
Okay, wonderful. It's a very broad question, so I'm probably going to talk about a few things here. Econolite, we call Econolite a one-stop shop for traffic management. So we do traffic cabinets, we have traffic signal controllers like you talked about. We have different kinds of sensors. It could be video sensors or radar sensors or sensors based on magnetometers or micro radars. And finally, we also have ATMS, which is central systems, and I talked about that as well as part of my presentation. With all of these technologies, so we have the hardware and software. With all of these technologies, it's possible to mitigate things like dilemma zones. The other development that I want to talk about is that about 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, Econolite joined forces with a Germany-based company called PTV Group, and PTV Group is a market leader in modeling and simulation software. So before, with just Econolite, we had the operational technology, the ones that traffic equipment that run the intersections or help run intersections in terms of traffic software. But we also now have access to the simulation tools that PTV brings to the mix. So between these two great companies, which are giants in their own fields, we have a unified brand called Umovity. So under Umovity and this banner, we have hardware, we have software, and we have professional services that we provide as well to deploy these brilliant pieces of hardware and software for making mobility safer.
That was going to be my next question, was about where PTV comes in with Umovity, because I guess you've got the data now that you're able to gather from the range of sensors you've got. PTV can put all that intelligence into, or all that data into its intelligence on modeling, and then you've got the kit to be able to actually potentially change signal timing and stop traffic jams happening. And so actually a traffic jam doesn't happen because you've had the ability to foresee it and mitigate before it appears.
Absolutely, absolutely. PTV brings to us that amount of predictive things and modeling things, and we on the Econolite side bring the actual equipment that make the changes or help make those changes based on the information that's coming to us either from PTV software or Econolite's own software. So the marriage has been very good from that perspective. They're very complementary to each other, and together we are bigger than each company that was there. Econolite by itself and PTV Group by itself. Together in Umovity, we are bigger than the sum. That's what my understanding or my impression is.
And I know Econolite in the US. I see them at congresses when I'm in the US, and I know Econolite in the Middle East. But actually, kind of, there's been this gap in Europe. What does the PTV relationship with a company that is across the whole of Europe, what does that bring as business opportunities for Econolite and its hardware?
Very good question. Very good question. It provides a lot of synergistic things for both sides to develop. Econolite, as you very rightly mentioned, we've had a very North America-based focus. Other than North America, we always sold our products to the Caribbean and some parts of the Middle East. PTV has a much more global presence, especially in Europe and Asia. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to leverage the presence of each company, so PTV for Europe and Asia, and Econolite being so strong in North America, to boost each other's products and sales and so forth. The other thing that we are doing is also finding synergies in our products across companies. So, for example, we had a development, I believe last year, towards the end of the last year, where we have a bistro button in Econolite Centrax. So it's easy enough for someone to go back and forth between Vistro and Centrax. And there are more that we are working on, and they would be daylighted in the coming days. So that's one of the other things that we are doing on a product stage as well. So for the product side, as well as the sales and business development side, I think we are perfect partners from that perspective.
Talking about the new technology, you're talking about some of the products from the US that you're trying to start to find a market for in Europe. And looking at the Umovity stand, the thing that really leapt out at me that I thought was a great solution was the Evo radar.
You're absolutely correct. Evo radar is what we call best-in-class radar detection for the traffic intersection. It's worked beautifully in North America, which is our staple for Econolite. Now we're looking for new markets for that product, for that brilliant product, in Europe and Asia. And might I add that there's a lot of interest there from both European and Asian clients. Just between yesterday and today, in our booth, where you saw the radar sensor being displayed, I have had lots of questions and inquiries about the features of that platform, as well as a lot of interest in terms of bringing that product, doing trials, and possibly using that product in European and Asian traffic agencies. So that's a prime example of Econolite's hardware finding new markets which we didn't approach before, but now are.
And I guess if you've got that data that is being gathered by the radar, you've got a PTV solution, Optima, for example, that is looking and predicting the traffic in near term. You put that data, you've immediately got another really good data source for Optima to use to then help plan future traffic mitigation.
That's absolutely correct, and that's actually something that is in motion right now. We are working on integrating the inputs from the Evo radar into our Optima and Flows products. So in the coming months, you will see some of these features going out to our customer base.